Matheus, obviously not the result you came here for today. What's the mood like in the dressing room?
Horrible, honestly horrible. We know, always I say the same, we know how important it is to play for the club like that one. And yeah, we go for every game to win. And when we defeat like that, it's horrible feeling. Everyone wants to do more, everyone need to do more. And yeah, of course, we need to go again. That's the only the way, sorry.
Why did they make it so difficult for you today?
Honestly, try to find excuses. I don't think it's the way. We know what we need to do. I don't think we did it well. There was more effect. They arrived, they scored goals. But it's like I say, there's not excuse. We know what they propose to play. And yeah, they play what they want to do.
Why weren't you able to go out there and do the job that you wanted to then?
Sorry?
Why weren't you able to, as a team, go out there and perform the way you liked?
It's like I say, you know, I don't think it's time to find excuse. Always it's hard to, when like we are very hot now, like our mind is not like in the correct way. But I don't know. For me, it was foul in the first goal. I controlled the ball. Someone pushed me, and then in the second one, I think need to be a red card. But everyone can make mistakes. We understand. Even I don't know if it's mistake or not. It's like I say, like when you are like after the game, we always think something for us, but you need to know the truth. And yeah, need to be calm now, continue work, and then find one way to keep winning.
You've been at United now for a few months. Do the defeats here feel so much bigger than the ones you've faced at previous clubs?
Of course. To play like this team, it's like I say, it's so important. Everyone need to know how big it is. We need to go for every game to win. And when we lose, honestly, it's a horrible feeling. All week is horrible. But we have character to come again and change the situation.
Up next, it's Sunderland, a massive game before the international break. How important is it that you get a positive result in that so you can head into that break with a bit more of an uplifting feeling?
Always is amazing to play at Old Trafford. We hope we can change it like this game and then play much better. Of course, it's a massive game, but every game in the Premier League is so important for us. We need to win. We don't have a lot of games to play. We need to play this Premier League like our life. But yeah, we need to go again, like I say, change the way to change everything, and then, of course, keep winning.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
That they wanted to play. The opponents really confused, second balls, first balls, and if we play the game of the opponent, it's harder for us. We never settled down the game. We suffered two goals that we knew that they are really strong on that with the long balls. And then we try to get back in the game. We miss a penalty, and all these moments are a little bit against us. That could change the game, but in the end, I think we need and we should do better.
It was up and down that game, consistently there. But the thing is that the emotions were there. You could see how much people wanted to do it, but it just seemed like something didn't click.
No, the moments we need also to have that moments for us, and we had in the last game, especially in the beginning of the game. Today, my biggest concern is the way we didn't settle down the game, to control the game, to play our game, and we should do that more time in the game.
Do you think that is the main focus now, to focus on in training between now and the next game?
Everything. We are working everything. We spend all week training one against one when they kick the ball, and we suffer in the same way. So we need to do that again and to be better in the next match.
And finally, fans will be having a safe trip at home now. What would you like to say to them?
It's the same thing. When we lose, say sorry to them, but they don't want to hear nothing. They in this moment they want to see. So our job is to fight again to win the next one.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, tough afternoon for Ruben Amorim. He said it was confused. They kind of played into Brentford's hands today, Peter.
Yeah, I mean, he talked about, Manchester United need to play their own game, but we was even talking about in the warm-up, it felt like they were a real worry about Brentford. They were concentrating on set pieces in the warm-up. I don't think they handled them well. They certainly didn't handle the long balls well. De Ligt had a tough afternoon, I thought, today. I think he was bullied at times by Thiago. He found it really difficult against him. There were long balls. He was losing headers. He was out of position at times. And, you know, if you consistently make errors like that, you're going to get punished. You know, it doesn't matter where you are. Brentford have got players that can punish you, and they did just that today.
We're not seeing that improvement, are we, from last season that the fans were hoping for? Are we going to see that improvement in this system with these players?
No, I don't think so. I think he's had a long enough time to implement what he wants. Like I said, the not having the European football and preparing for a game like this, Manchester United away at Brentford. Listen, no doubt he's gone through set pieces in the week, because you will if you're playing against Brentford. But I think there's a culture. It seems like the culture. I don't think it's just the Ruben Amorim problem. I think there's massive problems around the club. I know the results can explain that for you, but we looked at his body language on the bench, didn't we, Crouch? And he looks anxious. He looks worried. You know. And I think that will filter into the players. I think as well, the players, they've got good senior players at Manchester United, but they're not looking like there's an effect on the whole group. Like I said, they play in fits and starts. They have 10 minutes here where they look good, 20 minutes there where they look good, but nothing consistent, no sustained. The fact that he hasn't won back-to-back Premier League games is a real concern.
And they've had money spent, signings come in, and also you said it's a problem with the culture, but they have been able to move players on who he felt weren't right in the dressing room, Peter.
Yeah, I think there was definitely an attitude issue, with some of the players. I think at Manchester United, I think they've moved on some of those problems, but I don't think it's proved again today. There's still a long way to go. I think they've signed good players. How much time do you give the manager? I think since he's come in, he's had a really tough time. He's got what you'd consider certainly his own front three, and things aren't clicking again. I mean, the Grimsby game was not of a Manchester United standard. Burnley, they were lucky. Chelsea, we had a man sent off. There have been good moments for United this season, but again, a really disappointing one again. And I think if things don't change, as quickly as after this game, then the Sunderland game for him is absolutely massive. A promoted side going to Sunderland, you have to get a result, otherwise they have to look at things.
They haven't won a Premier League game, Joe, since March without scoring a penalty or the opposition having a player. It's just a remarkable stat.
Yeah, it's remarkable. Like I said, I think it's culture. What don't help is every player that leaves Man United going and hits the ground running wherever they're going. So that tells me there's something in the harmony of the whole club, the group. Listen, to pull a Manchester United shirt on now, it must be it's the heaviest shirt in world football. Because of how poor it's been, and because of the history of the club, the expectations of the club. So that the manager's job, first and foremost, is to bring harmony and rejuvenate the culture, not to try and make it what it was. You're a million miles away from that. Forget about that. That needs to be put in a box, tucked away. Respect the past, because it is a beautiful past, a great part for the club. But whoever comes in has to find a way to galvanise, first of all, the players, because we know there's some good players here. The club, the board, the owner, the fans. The fans need to lower their expectations. They need a different direction, in my opinion.
In terms of the manager?
In terms, yeah, it is. And I Lindsay, I don't like saying that because, but I think for him as well, he was the bright young spark. People were talking about him like he was the Messiah coming into Manchester United and was going to sort everything out. And that's how high his stock was when he left Lisbon. So he's clearly a good manager as well. But there's the mix and the blend of the whole situation. I think it needs a culture change. And I think I thought Gareth Southgate was the perfect man for the job at the state it was in terms of building culture, understanding the club, understanding the league, understanding the players, working with Jim Ratcliffe, people like that. And they went with this fella, and it doesn't look like it's working.
I think the issue is that being able to adapt. I think he's come in with a system, and that's all great if things work straight away. But the best managers, you work with Jose Mourinho, right? Within half an hour, if something's not working, 3 subs are coming on. You're changing the system.
And how do you get consistency if other teams can work out how to play against that, knowing that you never change?
That's what I'm saying. Like Alex Ferguson, the greatest manager Manchester United have ever had, consistently changed things up, and different personnel and coming in with a system is all well and good, but with your beliefs and but when it's not working, I do think you have to be adaptable. You have to have a game, a plan B, and he just doesn't seem to have that, and it must be so frustrating for them.
Sunderland at home, Liverpool away, up and coming from Manchester United. I mean, he's talking about full of character there. How many times in these chairs have we had this conversation about Manchester United in the last 12 months?
Steve, off the back of beating Chelsea, you got to win today. If they win today, they go joint second. Instead, you're 12, and then you got Sunderland at home. You're back in the mixer. You're in a Champions League place, probably. To lose today and get outplayed, by the way. Brentford, before this game, were 19th in possession. Yeah, so they didn't really want to play. They were going to play long balls. They were going to play direct and set pieces. First half, they had more possession than Man United. I don't understand how that's even possible. So I thought they were going to win the game. I was at the training ground yesterday. Everybody was full of confidence. I was certain they were going to win the game. They got outplayed. And again, there's question marks over the goalkeeper. Again, he's involved in 2 goals. Defensive, they've actually been pretty good up to this point. Today, they weren't. The long balls and the direct balls really hurt them. And, the midfield is still an issue. Bruno's got to be a 10 again. He's the best creator. He's got to be a 10 again. And they've got to sort the midfield out, but the goalkeeper's an issue. At least Šeško scored. That's probably the only positive, I think, for Manchester United today.
And I think what, as Owen's alluded to there, he was at the training ground yesterday. Amongst Manchester United fans, this will be more damaging because there was so much optimism today on the back of last week.
But Manchester United fans must be so used to it now, the highs and the lows, well, mainly lows, but the highs and the lows and the false dawns over the last decade or so, it becomes deflating, I'm sure. And that was not a new low. I mean, I've seen Manchester United play worse, but it was almost devoid of anything today. I didn't feel that they had a tactical plan. As I say, I can't ever look at that team and think... As soon as I saw the team and thought, Maguire, De Ligt, I thought, right, OK, yeah, set pieces, sit back, head it out. The goalkeeper's a bit shaky, so I understand that, a little bit of height. But then I thought, OK, but you're going to have to play quite deep and you're going to have to play a little bit counter-attack, using Burmo and Cunha's pace, and played it. But then all of a sudden they start playing high and start getting long balls over. It's like, oh, no, this is totally opposite style of play that you need to be doing if you're going to pick that team. So back to square one, back to the drawing board.
Do you feel for Bruno Fernandes just how long he had to wait, Peter? Yeah. It was almost 5 minutes while they carried out the checks. Also a couple of subs from Brentford as well, which was quite a clever tactic.
Nicely timed subs from Keith Andrews, I have to say. But I think one of the subs was prepared, but he waits till the very last check of the VAR before he made them. But it was a long wait, and I think we've seen it before. I think it was at Fulham, was it, where Bruno was a little bit. I think the ref bumped into him, and it maybe lost a little bit of concentration. It's so difficult taking penalties, and there's tremendous pressure on it. And when your routine is upset in some way, or you wait a long time, have more time to think, it can be an issue. But who's to know? Bruno will score penalties in the future, no doubt.
Yeah, Chris Kavanagh bumped into him in that Fulham game before that penalty, and it really seemed to get into his head, and it looked certainly like that weight really did today, Joe. He's his second miss in 3 penalties this season.
Yeah, listen, everything that comes through Manchester United over the last multiple years has been through Bruno, and he'll have big moments before this. Listen, he always steps up in big moments. It wasn't his day. He missed a penalty. I watch him play in the games today, and he wasn't at his absolute best of his game, but he was still the best player on the pitch for Manchester United for me, spreading the ball away. It's a great save, by the way. Kelleher's record, he's read it. He's got a good strong hand. It's not a dreadful penalty. It's along the floor. It's hit with some power. You've got to give the goalkeeper credit there. But but Bruno, you feel for him because he's performing consistently every week, and the team's just not coming with him, and it must be very frustrating.
How do you get out of that, Peter, if you've had a penalty saved or you've missed one, and then you feel like you are overthinking it maybe and it's affecting you mentally?
No, I think he's a top player, Bruno Fernandes. I mean, listen, it didn't affect his game. We see him do 60, 70-yard crossfield passes like they were nothing. He's such a talented player. This happens. It's part of the game. Is if you take penalties, you're going to miss penalties. Unfortunately, he's missed 2 of the last 3, but no doubt he'll be back, and he'll be big enough, man enough to take them again.
So could have been 2-2. They missed that penalty, but then Brentford sealed the deal. Matthias Jensen, you love this finish.
Ruben Amorim looks like a beaten man as he trudges off the pitch with his head looking straight at the floor. We have seen him look defeated before, but this feels different. It's almost like he knows this is over. How can he come back from this? To lose yet another away game to a Brentford side who are nothing like the Bees of the past is extremely disappointing. Sacked in the morning was the chant from the Brentford fans just before the whistle went, and well, they may not be wrong. Amorim is walking a tightrope. Manchester United brought back down to reality. Those Clippers drift further into the distance for one certain United fan, as the Red Devils succumb to Brentford in West London. It was hardly a belter of a second half, but once again United crumbled and the Bees have stung them where it hurts. Another tough day at the office for Ruben Amorim. I think I have an answer. Hez playing in the wrong position. The United skipper flourished last term even when his colleagues floundered. What's changed? Hez been thrust into a deeper midfield position to accommodate the arrivals of Mbeumo and Cunha. It's not working. The penalty misses are obviously poor, but Hez just not involved in the play and not disciplined enough to operate deeper. Feels like United should have taken the 100M they were offered in the summer and got a better fit for the role.